That sounds like it's from the British Isles, but it sounds different, and that's John Donne.
It's an actor. It's an actor named Ben Crystal,
Yeah.
who is performing John Donne's sermon for Gunpowder Day for the 5th of November in 1622, and the accent that you hear is an effort to reconstruct the sound of English, the pronunciation of English in London in the 1600s.
I'm here with Dr. John Wall at the National Humanities Center, and welcome to Please Note. We have got an absolutely fascinating edition of Please Note for you. John is a priest of the diocese, but also professor of English at NC State University.
Right. Yes.
And you're here on a fellowship for a year.
Yes.
Doing some work here, but you've been involved in a project that I just think is absolutely fascinating. John sent me a link to this project, and I had no idea what you were doing. So tell us more about the project.
All right. First of all, what we've done is we've recreated, in using digital modeling, we've recreated the churchyard outside St. Paul's Cathedral in the 1600s. And we've done that because in the churchyard, every Sunday and some other days of the week as well, a preacher appointed by the Bishop of London, would preach a sermon of 2 hours in length.
Let me never be criticized again for the length of my sermon.
2 hours. The Paul's Cross sermons were the place where the state church and the government and the general population of England, of London, crossed. It's where they all came together. The Paul's Cross was where government policy and religion and the controversies of the English Reformation, they were announced, they were attacked and defended. This was the sort of the place where the news was broadcast. This is before newspapers. This is certainly before any notion of broadcasting. This is the place where official policy was announced, and all the religious crises of the 16th and 17th century were worked out in public.
Now, okay, so what you all have done is because this is before the fire.
This is before the fire. All of this was destroyed by the Great Fire of London in 1666.
Oh, okay, so you have recreated St. Paul's, the courtyard of St. Paul's,
yes,
and recreated a sermon that John Donne actually preached.
Yes.
Even to the point of dogs barking.
Bells ringing, birds, horses, all the ambient noise. We've been able to bring all of this information together and create something that at least looks approximately like what it would have looked like. Then we took the visual model and turned it over to an acoustic engineer who created an acoustic model. So in the computer, we can hear how sound would behave in that space. So we get this actor, Ben Crystal, who records the sermon in the pronunciation of early modern London as best linguists have been able to determine. And when you hear it on the website, when you hear the bits and pieces of the sermon, or you can hear the whole sermon, we've got it there, if you have 2 hours of time for it, you can hear it as it would have sounded in that space.
Yeah, and also when I went to the website, you can hear it if I was well-to-do,
right?
And
yes.
of the nobility,
right? Yes.
I had a special section.
You did, that's right. Yes,
and so I could hear it like they would hear it.
Yes, that's right.
And if I was just kind of average Joe,
you were sitting or standing in the churchyard, either way.
And I can hear it like he would hear it.
That's right. You can hear it from 8 different discrete positions in the churchyard with 4 different crowd sizes. To be heard in a lively, reverberant space, the preacher has to speak very deliberately. If he speaks at a natural conversational pace, then the echoes would have muddied the sound, would have blurred the sound. The actor, Ben Crystal, when he performed the sermon, did it very deliberately, and every word is clear. Every word is there. It sounds a little, if you get used to it, it sounds like, why is he going so slow? But there's a reason for it. We didn't know this before.
Yeah. Did John Donne, I mean, this was a famous sermon. I mean, to this day, this is a historic sermon.
Oh, yes.
Did he read the manuscript? I mean, or did he have a manuscript?
No. He performed all 2 hours of it from notes.
This makes me feel better.
What we have when you look at one of the an edition of Donne's sermons and you see this particular sermon, you have what is in effect Donne's memorial reconstruction of what he said.
Mm-hmm. What are some ways that this could be used
in church circles? I mean, one of the things that really matters to us in the Episcopal Church and in the Church of England, all the churches of the Anglican Communion, lex orandi, lex credendi. As we pray, so do we believe. As we practice, as we liturgy is important. The performance of liturgy and preaching comes in the context of liturgical performance. I think this particular project certainly works for me as an embodiment of and reminder, first of all, that that's been true as long as there has been a Church of England and an Anglican tradition. Secondly, working with this has certainly reminded me of the difference between reading a text and actually imagining how it was performed.
From the National Humanities Center, God bless you and keep the faith.
Okay.